Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my little pre-launch online party for my Dandelion Story, which I've got. I just had a new box of books arrive today, which is super exciting. Hey, Rebecca's got hers there. Super exciting. And I've got my glass of Prosecco in celebration. Obviously, I've not officially launched this book until the 5th of March. And the 5th of March was chosen intentionally because um, it feels like March is really the month when we start to see the dandelions come back and, take over. They do, the way they do. They certainly do in my garden anyway, which is really the start of the story. If you've read the book, you'll understand that the dandelions were very present in my garden, and it was like, oh my goodness, where have you come from? Because they weren't there. They weren't there before my ex-husband left because he would mow the lawn all the time. So they didn't have a chance. Whereas I let him take the mower, and I now don't really mow my lawn. Although I occasionally mow a little path through the middle, don't I, Craig? Just so the kids can get to the trampoline. I like it because it reminds me of those like wildflower meadows that you can walk through when you're out in nature. So yeah, I really, really enjoy that. And so yes, the 5th of March is also my mother's birthday. And so I just felt like it would be a really lovely honoring of her and our relationship to be able to celebrate that day with her. And so we're going to go out for some lovely food and yeah, celebrate the book. My mum hasn't read, she hasn't actually come to this. In fact, I don't think I've even invited her, but she has read the book. She has read the book. I just realised I forgot to invite my mum. She has read the book and she really, really enjoyed it. And she's bought many copies and she's given them to her friends and she's asked her friends to buy them. And many of her friends have already bought the book, which is really sweet. And it's opened up a new communication between my mum and me, which is really special. And I wasn't anticipating that to happen. Where my mum now talks to me about astrology. which which she didn't really do before. But it's just interesting now to be having that conversation with her. And in fact, my love of astrology did actually spawn originally from my mum and a book that she gave to me when I was in my early teens, which I kept until I was probably about 30 years old. I don't know what happened to it after that. I moved so many times in my life. Again, if you've read the book, you'll know that I've moved a lot. But I was fascinated by this book, absolutely fascinated by relationships, and all of the kind of nuance and the different kind of interplay between archetypes. And yeah, so I knew she kind of had an interest because she gave me that book, but we hadn't really talked about that. And so to be able to talk about that with her now is really lovely. And she's also going to come to the ceremony at Stanton Drew for spring equinox, which again, I never actually in a million years thought that my mum would want to do that. So I'm really chuffed that that's kind of, yeah, leading to like new experiences together as well. Um, so I just want to say thank you to all of you for coming and sharing this moment with me. And I know there's many other people that have bought the book that would love to be here, but have got various things going on this evening and aren't able to make it. So I want to honor, first of all, the book itself and the dandelions, because as anybody who has written a book before or published, especially with Nicola at the Unbound Press, this book has a whole energy and life force of its very own, and I yeah, I was very, very rudely awakened in the mid almost in the middle of the night, around 4 a.m. on the 22nd of April, which is World um, Earth Day. It's Earth Day, the 22nd of April, which is interesting. And it's quite a notorious day for many, many reasons. Lots of different, yeah, reasons. Not all of them great, but um, it yeah, they woke me, and it was just undeniable that the message that came through was that I had to write this book. Now, I am very impulsive at times, and it has been, oh, thank you, Rebecca. Yes, it does. I saw that and I reshared your story on Instagram. It does. And that's one of the things that lots of people have commented on actually is the cover. So that leads me to a really, really great story about the cover. But before I do that, I want to honor not only the book and the dandelions, but also each and every one of you that have held the book in your hands and flicked through and read the pages and shared your feedback with me, because I intentionally wanted to keep this book in a bubble of love, a cocoon of love until March, when it kind of goes out and makes its own way into the world. And that was, again, very intentional. It felt really lovely to learn that I was able to get the book um, ordered, printed just for me, and to sell it just through me initially, so that I had some idea of who was having the book. It just felt really lovely to do that because obviously a first time author, and not really knowing what it is I'm kind of doing with it all really. Although it's starting to become clear. Um, that's lovely to know, Ebony. Thank you. I was looking on my human design today a little bit more, and that's where I was going with this story about being impulsive. I think one of the things that I have actually had to really grapple with through my entire life is impulsivity around starting new things, with my son in gate 53, and then my I think it's um 30, the channel 3536 that I have, which is defined as well, which is just like this constant need for like new adventure in my life. And it just has me doing lots and lots and lots of things. And Craig, who is on this call, would have probably have been the first person that I told that I was going to write this book. And yeah, someone's just arriving. I'm just going to let them in. First person that I told that I was going to write the book, and I have to say it's one of those moments where I was just like so sure that.
Please.
Hi, Hilary, nice to see you. Welcome. Just giving a little bit of background about the book and how it came into being. Um, but thank you for being here. Yeah, so um, what was I saying? Uh,
Sorry to
yeah,
interrupt you. I'll let you
no,
get
no,
back
you're
into it.
fine. Now my flow, yeah, my flow. I'm just remembering what I was talking about. Um, I, I just knew. Every fiber of my being knew that I was going to write this book. Within the first month, I'd say
Sorry.
I'd written like 40,000 words, and I was most of those words aren't in this book, by the way. Um, but Yeah, I was really in the midst of like a lot of healing and transformation through the writing of this book, and it probably does come across with anybody that's read it. So I was working through some big
Yes.
ideas, working through some big ideas during the process, and it's led me on to now, living in a much more intentional way. It's really had me slow
Very
down
much.
a lot. Um,
Very blunt.
Oh, you're a bit laggy there, Hilary. Sorry. You're
I know.
not.
I'm just checking that the Wi-Fi here is. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah. Did you want to share something, or are you happy to
Oh, I was
wait
just
until
going to
I?
say, I could just really tell that you were working through some big ideas. And thank you very much for introducing me to human design. That's something I just wanted to say before I
Ah, you're
forget.
very, very welcome. Well, Ebony is who is on this call, helped me quite a lot with that in the beginning. And actually, human design is something that I love. And I think the gene keys is something that I love even more so. And it might be because I've got a bit of a crush on Richard Rudd. But but I love like just like contemplation and being able to slow down and kind of resting in contemplation is something that I really find a lot of solace in. And I was talking about impulsivity and how quickly things move for me. And so to bring in those pauses and to bring in the contemplation into my life has really changed my relationship to time, but also to me and how I create and what I create. So that's been really magical.
Did you
So
find it
yeah,
really hard to do? Sorry, Emily. Did you find it really difficult that at first being more? I'm only asking because it's something I struggle with when I've been through a difficult time and reading your book. I could see you, yeah, obviously, that there'd been, it had been a hard few years, and guess was it just regular kind of doing something I don't know what I'm asking really. Was it just
I'd been
treat?
I'd been journaling. I'd been regularly journaling for a while.
Yeah,
And that was giving me that space to
yeah,
work through ideas that
yeah.
maybe I didn't feel like I wanted to talk to other people about. So that was
Okay.
really important part of my process, I would say.
Yes.
Um, yeah, and there's magic in that for sure. Um, uh, and this feeling, this longing within me that there was more, like more in me that I hadn't expressed to myself, the way I wanted to, or the way I felt I needed to, like in order to be myself. And so the book, listening to that nudge, that call from the dandelions was really important because the dandelions really were giving me giving me such a lot to like that food for thought. They were really giving me a lot of food for thought. That message that the AI presented me that morning, I was like, wow. I haven't really been honoring these aspects of myself in a way that gives me a chance to express myself to the full. And so that was important. And um, yeah, I suppose I was really going through a kind of wild woman type awakening at that point, going into
Yeah,
perimenopause and
yeah.
hormonal shifts happening and realizing that I had some really, really wild, crazy ideas that were like they were going to burn me out, a lot of those ideas, actually. And now I feel like I
But
found
yeah,
my way into doing something that feels super nourishing, and doesn't burn me out because I'm living much more in the cycles and the seasons of the earth.
yes.
Hmm. Has anybody else got
I don't
anything
know
they
how
want to?
many.
Sorry, Hilary, you go, and then I'll ask anybody else what
I was just going
to
to say,
contribute.
oh, it was making me cry because
Bless
there is so much like in the decent corners of the internet, like Substack. There's where I write. There is so much about. We are cyclical, endocrine-based creatures. Women, we are, we are, we are raised in a planet that doesn't suit us in a way, and to find the courage to find your own path through that is is awesome, and inspiring, and I feel very much the same. I just wanted to say how much I admired you for your courage for doing it. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I suppose courage comes up in the book, from the multiple brains integration techniques and learning all of that. And like I posted something today saying that when I did that, I thought I wanted to be a coach, because, you know, working with people like Ebony who are on this call, like I was so inspired and I'm like, oh, maybe that's what I want to do. But that again, that was like that wasn't going to be fulfilling for me because it isn't really meant for me, if you know what I mean.
How
Like,
do you,
it's like all very
sorry,
well looking and going, I could do that and I could help people that
yeah,
way, but actually, is that really what I'm here for? And I mean, a lot of what I've come to realize has happened since I finished the book, not whilst I was writing the book, it's happened
yes.
since. And so I'm
Did it
still on that
clarify it for you?
journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had a message from a really good friend of mine today who has known me since I was 18. She's been really probably my closest friend throughout all that time,
Mm.
because we've stayed together, if that makes sense, throughout all of that time. And she said, like, it was so lovely to read a book from someone, firstly, that I know, um, and also that she wanted to know more about my life. It was like it made her sad at times to learn that I'd held so much back. I'd
Yeah.
held so many things in, and I hadn't expressed myself even to my closest friends because of feeling feeling like I'd made wrong decisions in my life, or feeling like I didn't want to let other people down in some way, or feeling like I didn't want to bring the tone down or whatever and be honest, and it just got to the point where I couldn't hide it anymore. And and she also said, like, I want more. And I'm like, well, there's more coming, so don't worry, there is more coming.
I'm
Um,
sorry,
you
at the
know.
front of my face.
But
Yeah.
thank you. Has anybody else got anything that that they want to share if they've read the book? I know some of you haven't yet read the book, but yeah. Ah, no worries, Rebecca.
Yeah, I'd like to share something if that's okay, Emily.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Emily.
Hiya. Hi, Hilary.
Hi.
Um, yeah, I really enjoyed the book. You were so kind of like open and honest in it, and really, and that is quite brave, I think, to put yourself out there in that way. But it is quite inspirational to see somebody do that, and I resonated with quite a lot of the things that you mentioned, and also I think you said about finding what your thing is, which is kind of what I'm looking for as well. But also that feeling like that you can do it. I think that's what's inspiring, is that not just finding the one thing out of the many possibilities, but also not ruling things out, because it's easy to just say, oh, I'm a mum, or I've got a job,
Yeah.
or I'm a a wife, or whatever it
Yes.
is, and these things aren't for me. Like someone like me doesn't write a book, or but I think it is really inspiring to see, I don't know, maybe it could be, maybe these things could be for me, and you're kind of, yeah, brave enough to say, yeah,
Yeah.
this is for me and I'm going to do it. So
Yeah,
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 enjoyed it.
absolutely. And thank you, Ebony, for reminding me. I was telling you all about the cover because there is a story for that,
Oh,
and I will come to that in a moment because I definitely got side quested, didn't I? Um, so what I want to just say to that is, like the plan for me now, I wrote that post today about feeling like the fool. Like the fool in the tarot has always been the card that I resonate with the most. And
yes.
it's been brought to my attention even more so just recently, where I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. Actually don't know how I'm doing this, but I'm doing this, like I'm becoming the bard. I'm writing my next novel, which is it's a musical, mystical, and shamanic adventure for children and inner children. I'm having the best time writing it. Um, and the plan is, sell many, 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 many copies. I don't like to put a number on it. I'm not a numbers person, and I don't like doing that. And that's probably one of my probably one of my downfalls. But yeah, that's the plan. Is the plan is like I'm an author, and I
Yes.
can sell my books and I can
You were
sell my
trying to
stories
say,
and I can
and be,
create this, and that's like that was not something that I believed myself to be before I wrote this book. So yeah, thank you. And the story of the cover is that this is um, a spell, a magical spell. So I say in the book that I'm rewriting um, my life, and that writing a book is like writing a magical spell, and that's something that I'm parroting really from Nicola Humber, and I just believed it with every fiber of my being when I heard her say it. It just settled into me, and I was like, okay, this is great. Like I can I can do this. And so when I came to designing the cover, um, I thought I'll bring the next book through on the cover so that it's a done deal, that
yeah,
that is already
yeah.
in existence.
It's
So yeah,
manifested
so
on
this
the
is
cover.
this is the Dandelion Chronicles right here coming through into the
It's
world.
beautiful,
And
beautiful.
Ebony had to drop off, so she didn't even get to hear that, even though she reminded me that that's what I was doing. So, so I'll let Ebony know another time.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. And Deborah, who's here, is going to be joining me on my new podcast. We're going to have our conversation next week, hopefully, um, which is super exciting because Dandelion Stories, I started a podcast when I first started writing the book. I started a podcast, and it was like 9 episodes of like me in the beginning phases of writing the book. And I mean, it would like looking back on it, it was like, whoa, it's all over the place. But that's okay. That was what it needed to be in the moment. And now the next season of Dandelion Stories, the podcast feels so intentional, and it's got direction, and it's like I know what I'm doing, and I'm bringing together those other weavers of story and bards. I've met like 3 people in the last 6 months that have come and said like I've had the calling to become a bard.
Yes.
And it's just interesting. It's like, okay, so we're gonna come together and we're gonna
Yes.
just figure this out, and obviously I'm also aware that there's many bards, and having now joined the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids
Oh, have
myself.
you? You've
Yes,
done the joining thing.
so I've done the joining thing, and that's going to potentially, yeah, evolve me as well. It will evolve me as well, of course. Um, but there's many people that are having hearing this call, but not wanting to join a large
That's me quite often. I
faith
mean, I know a
organization
lot of
like that.
people from OBOD, and I think I don't know whether I'm just not a joiner. There's a bit of me that is always, that it has this kind of, whether it's part of ADHD or whether, that just doesn't, I don't know. I'm just interested, because,
I
yeah,
just felt that it was a great way to learn, and I love to
yeah,
learn. I
yeah,
really do. And it was also going to potentially provide a community to co-create with and collaborate with. And I don't know if it will do that because right
yeah,
now, I don't really spend a lot of time hanging out on the hearth, they call it.
yeah.
But maybe I will do in the future. And right now, I just love getting the wonderful information and learning all of the stories and yeah, all of that stuff. But like modern day bardism is so different from you
Yes,
used to have to study for 19 years to become
yes.
a bard. And of course, and actually, it's interesting because I felt in the beginning there was some imposter syndrome. Like, can I call myself a bard? Like, is that allowed? Um,
How did you
but
cope? Yeah.
I spoke. I actually called Adrian and I asked. I said, is it okay? And he was like, of course. He said, you're a natural bard. You're a natural bard. But if you join the order, then you're going to get a lot of support and community. And it just felt right for me to find community. So yeah,
because I've been
yeah.
aging for years, and really interesting.
So yeah,
Yeah,
it's been great. It's
so
been
it's
really
food
great.
food
And
for
I'm
thought.
really excited to speak with Deborah on Wednesday. We've had a little conversation, haven't we, Deborah, about what we might discuss, and it just yeah, just like I live for these conversations. I really do live for these conversations.
There's yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And I haven't read your book yet, Emily, but I will get there. Life is quite crazy, but I think it's going to slow me down to read your book. But I was just fascinated about the bard elements because I kind of had an idea because we've heard of the bards and in those times. So I have actually channeled a little message that I'll share with you before Wednesday. Of course, I've left it downstairs because it's a written one. But the line that I think I remember and will stand and stands out to me are bear do you say birds, bards, bards,
Bards.
bards? Bards are the truth bringers, and if the bards are rising, it means only one thing: people are ready to listen.
Ah,
Great line.
shivers.
So that's the line that I remember. Right, I only did it channeled it this afternoon. So
Wow.
I'll type it up and send you the whole thing. But yeah, I just thought I
That
was just
feels
fascinated by the buzz because I know what you do. I've heard you sing and I've listened to your songs
Yeah.
and oh my gosh, and it's like capturing the essence of someone, capturing the truth beyond what is seen. And so I was fascinated. So that's what I channeled from Source today. Bards, the truth bringers.
thank you.
It's
That's
beautiful.
I think that's
magical.
lovely because historically, I mean, oral history was how we had that's what we had. If like oral storytelling has been part of human, to you're it's like you're the custodian and to understand the world through metaphor, um through
Mm.
through through big tale I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I just think it's
Well, and also, Hilary, the magical, the way that words are put together,
yes.
and how that those invocations and yeah, and so I've been reading a book which suggests that bards used to have their tongues cut out,
By
because by I would imagine Romans
the
or
Romans,
yeah,
I can imagine, so they couldn't
yeah.
speak the truth. I think
Because so that they couldn't not only speak the truth, but create magic with their words.
magic with their words.
Mm, yeah.
So
And also the way that, if you do put things into poetry form, but also even more so into song, it's remembered and it can be
yes,
passed. It can be
yeah,
passed on. And so it stays alive in the culture and it stays alive through the ages. And that's another important part of it, I think. Yeah.
so full of emotion. It really moved me. Your story really moved me because and I know I told you a little bit about my background because I was so anxious to come, and so anxious about coming, um, because
Just to
my
give a little bit
yeah,
of context, Hilary came to my singing group a couple of weeks ago for the very first time. And honestly, Hilary was like transformed just in the hour and a half that that we were all singing.
totally because it's what I should be doing, and I realize, sorry everybody, I'm a bit bumbly when I'm trying to, because my difficult few years have been realizing that I've been denied my own becoming by my family history, by lots of things, and to try to find a way to do that is quite a process. And there's bits of that I could ignore. Well, not ignore, but that I didn't really know about 10 years ago when I was going to camp and I was going, I was doing stuff and I could put myself out there a bit that I didn't know. I didn't really couldn't recognize some trauma that really quite serious trauma that I had, and now I'm trying to kind of integrate that and come out again, and it
Well,
was
you're
thank
doing all the things, like coming to sing. Honestly, I talk about this in the book, possibly the most healing thing that any of us can ever do is to go and sing
ever
together.
do.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a great place to
Oh,
start. You've gone into the most wonderful,
yeah. I
for,
knew I
as
had
far as
to
I'm
because I'd
concerned, from
sung.
my
I've always.
opinion,
Yeah.
it will release so much and it will help it to bring that sense of nourishment into your body, in so many different ways. And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Carrie, I'm really, really looking forward to you getting a coffee in your hands at some point soon. Yeah, I'm guessing it like as of the 5th of March, you should be able to order.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think I put it on my wish list on Amazon.
Amazing.
I think it's up for pre-order. It may be another book, but I'm pretty sure it's your book.
Oh,
But
amazing.
I can't wait to read it. And I had intended to go back and listen to the podcast that you and I did a while back before this, and I just didn't get to it. So, but I just want to say that, like, every time I see you, you are glowing a little brighter. It's amazing just to witness
Oh,
your transformation. Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. And I feel it as well, I really do. And my confidence has grown so much, and having being invited to sing in ceremony and at Yule, there was 500 people in the circle, and that if that doesn't get you, your confidence levels up, not much will.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I know.
Yeah, and it
Proud of
really
you.
and so it doesn't phase me now to share, whereas it did before. It did
Yeah.
before, and it doesn't now, and I think that's important as well. I had a conversation which will come out soon on the podcast because I'm going to launch the podcast at the same time as the book. But the first interview that I've had with a lady called Anne, and she's had the call, but she's working through that visibility piece and that being able to share her voice. And so how different it can be for some people who feel the
Yeah.
call to
Yeah.
this life, and but not having that confidence to actually
Yes.
share. So
And
I'd love to create that space for people to stretch themselves in that way, and that's what I'm doing with the bardic sharing circles that I've started here in my local town. Is there's so many people who write beautiful poetry and song, but they don't feel confident to share it, and so like being able to create a really intimate, safe space for people to do that, where there's no spotlight. It's just we're all equal. We're all in the circle together, and we're sharing like that. That just it feels something. It feels like something. A lot of people, I think, maybe do this in their living rooms. They invite people round, and often it will probably be a gathering of people that they know, and that might happen a lot in societies around the world. But I've certainly not seen something like this where I live, and so I'm hopeful that that's going to continue with each turn of the wheel. We'll come together and we'll honor the turn, but through sharing our art together. It's
What a
really,
beautiful gift that is.
Yes,
really
it
lovely.
is.
We've got someone coming in.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and
I was
it
reminded. Sorry,
go, Hillary, you go.
I was reminded of. It's actually Marianne Williamson, because it's the self-conscious. I mean, I ended up with a huge amount of deep self-consciousness and shame because of a twisted upbringing. That it's as simple as that. It doesn't belong to me, and I'm trying to give it back to the people it kind of belongs to, and take responsibility for the bits that are mine, and so that I can shine. And it reminds me of the Marianne Williamson quote that Nelson Mandela used in his inaugural speech, saying there's nothing enlightened about shrinking. So other people don't feel insecure around you. You were born to manifest the glory of God or the divine that's within you. And if you
Mm.
let your own light shine, you give others permission to do the same.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And there's, I don't know if it's part of the same Marianne Williamson quote or whether it's a different piece of writing, but where she says that we are actually most fearful of how bright we can shine or how,
Brightness.
yeah,
Yes.
that's
Yes, it's
that's
our
what
light,
holds
not
us
our
back.
darkness, that we are most afraid of. It's our light, not our darkness,
That's
that we
right.
are most
Yeah.
afraid of.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, it's
The other
true.
thing, the other thing that I'd love to bring into this conversation before we wrap up, and hi Sarah, it's lovely to have you here. Before we wrap up and go off and enjoy the rest of our evenings, it's around incarnation actually, because it's something that's been coming up for me today, and I think it's really, really important that growing up, there was a lot of um, old paradigm kind of phrases, whilst we're talking about phrases that might affect us, like things like life's shit and then you die.
Yes,
Like, or something along those lines, like,
yes,
oh, you've made your bed, now you've got to lie in it. That kind of
yes,
thought process of it's very victimization kind of thought processing, and but also more than that, for me, if we think that what we do in this lifetime doesn't really matter because once we're dead and that's it. We're not going to worry about the future. We're not going to worry about the next generation. Like that's we will be reincarnated. I absolutely believe that. I absolutely believe that we're coming back to experience life on this planet again. And whatever we do in this lifetime is going to affect our experience of that when we do come back. And so planting those seeds now for the future evolution of Earth, however that manifests
yes.
and humanity, however that manifests, and we might come back with completely different abilities than the ones we
Swap one
have
fresh
now.
gravity suit for another.
Exactly. However, to know that, we whatever we do in this lifetime, we are planting seeds for the future. And I think that what I've been able to let go of is this idea that everything's going to get sorted in this lifetime, that everything's going to be fixed in this lifetime. It's not about that. It's about the continual evolution and the continual cycle, and that's what the dandelion really, really represented and reminded me that we are eternal beings, and and so it does matter how you live in this life. It really, really does, because when we come back, we're laying the foundations and planting the seeds for a beautiful future if we can think about it on that
Level.
larger scale of, like, longevity. Yeah, we might only live till, I don't know, 100 if we're lucky. But when we think of ourselves as soul cells and eternal beings, we can start thinking way, 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 way into the future. And I don't really want to dwell too much in the
No,
past because I am a very much a future thinker. And so, yeah, that's
I
kind
want
of
to
what I'm
master
doing
the
here
art of
with the
yeah,
bard, with the
sorry.
bard stuff. With the bard stuff, that's really what I'm doing. It's okay, Hilary. I know that you have this compulsion to want to share, and that's absolutely
Sorry.
beautiful. And I'm with you. I feel it as well. You're so welcome, honestly. So, so welcome. So, yeah, has anybody else got anything that they'd like to add? But then I think we'll wrap up and go enjoy the rest of our evenings. But thank you for coming. Thank you. Oh, I look forward to seeing you all again soon, whether it's on a screen or whether it's in person. And Carrie, I'm absolutely certain we will meet in person one day. I'm sure of it. It'll be amazing when we do. And yeah, let's talk again. I might go back and revisit that podcast as well because I imagine, yeah, it's going to be interesting. That was a little while ago now, right?
It was, and that's one thing I wanted to kind of compare it to what you're doing now. So I'm gonna listen to it when we
Mm.
get off here, though.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, looking forward to obviously having you all read the book if you haven't already. Looking forward to bringing out my next book. Looking forward to the podcast and all of the songs and yeah, just all of that good stuff, that for me just makes life enriched and full. So yeah, whatever that is for you, I hope you do all find it and you all are able to experience that magic for yourselves. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Emily.
Emily.
Thanks.
So much love.
Thank you.
Bye
That's
bye.
Thanks for putting up with me.
You're very welcome. Loads of love, Hilary. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye
Bye
bye, love.
bye. Bye bye.